Howdy y'all.
Hi guys.
It's Ryan.
And Angela.
From RNA Music.
That's right.
Hey, your favorite mom and pop guitar shop. I know. It's hoodie season.
It is.
At RNA Music. Your favorite mom and pop guitar shop and music lesson studio who occasionally makes YouTube videos.
Sometimes we do that.
Sometimes, from time to time. We're back with another episode of Ask RNA where Angela answers your questions. And I grow a beard.
Yeah.
Let's get to some questions. All right, welcome back, you guys. It's been a minute.
Yes, it has.
I don't know what's been happening. Things have been happening.
Lots of things.
We've been kind of
it's life.
Crazy.
Just life.
Yeah, it's post-Thanksgiving.
Happy Turkey
Day before yesterday. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We had a very peaceful day.
Yes.
It's great. Post-Thanksgiving. And now we are back with another episode of Ask RNA. Finally, episode 396.
Love it.
Where we answer questions from people all over the world. Thank y'all so much. If you would like some swaggity swag, we got some links down in the description. You can go check out our Teespring store. It's getting kind of chilly now, finally, in Texas.
Happy.
So we can finally wear hoodies and beanies.
Beanies.
So excited. Well, you didn't tune in for weather.
No.
You tuned in to get your questions answered. So let's answer some questions, Ms. Lala.
Trying.
First question. From Dale Powell. I bet it's Dale Palmer. We might guess. Anyways, do you have students that are dealing with carpal tunnel issues? Do you have tips on how to deal with it and still play guitar? Hashtag Gen X. Hashtag Final Countdown. Ooh, that's a really good question, Dale. I do not currently have any students who are dealing with carpal tunnel. Do you have any kiddos or people? Usually kids don't deal with that.
Kids usually don't have that issue. So no, I don't have any. I don't think I've had any in the past. I've had people say, oh, I would love to play guitar, but I have carpal tunnel, but not in the middle of that.
Yeah. I can't think off the top of my head. I don't think I've had anybody that did have that. Now, I have had students who have like nerve issues, like nerve problems. I had one lady who was doing guitar lessons as like a physical therapy thing, and she had gone through like cancer stuff and some nerve injuries, and she was learning to play guitar essentially as physical therapy.
Right.
She wasn't like, all right, I want to be the greatest guitar player who ever lived. No. That was not her ambition, was to become the most amazing guitar player. It was just kind of, it was like to learn something new and to give her a reason to work her hands and do things. That's the closest actual student I've had that had some kind of physical limitation there. As far as how to deal with it, I'm not an expert on carpal tunnel. Like I've always had very good luck with my hands and my wrists, having played drums since I was a kid and guitar. I've always been very lucky, but I also, I guess I've always had good technique.
Yeah.
That's the point of the things about proper technique, either whether it's how you hold your sticks or your mallets or how you play piano or how you play guitar, wrist angles and things.
Right.
The byproduct of good technique is less injury. Not unlike, lifting weights or exercise or like any kind of physical thing. That's what we call technique.
Right.
Technique is the way to do something. Technique.
But you did.
Spin around.
Okay, Patrick, it's all in the technique. Double take 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Then pelvic thrust. Woo!
Don't forget it. is the way to do things, I don't want to say correctly, but optimally.
Right.
Like the way you hold a golf club or the way you hold a baseball bat or the way you shoot a basketball. There's just certain ways of doing things that are more optimal than doing it another way. So I guess I've been blessed to have good technique.
Yeah.
So I've never really injured myself. Not playing. I have injured myself. I have hurt my wrist before doing things like picking up stuff that's too heavy.
Lifting heavy objects.
Lifting heavy.
Helping me move things for my projects at home.
Yeah. Picking up heavy things.
For Angela.
I have injured my wrist before. Like, and I've not sprained it, but it felt more like a jam.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever jammed your wrist, like a jammed finger, but not actual carpal tunnel.
Right.
Thankfully. Now, interestingly enough, I thought about this when I actually typed these questions out like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember this. And I was like, you know what? Although I have a friend who doesn't have carpal tunnel, but his hands are basically burned off. Essentially, a guy I grew up with, went to high school, elementary school. We went to pre-K together. Like we've been friends since pre-K, right? My friend Chad. And he has a band called Slow Moving Snakes out of Dallas, Texas. They're very like, I don't even know what you call them. It's kind of like bluegrass, but like not really like old guy bluegrass. It's more like outlaw bluegrass.
Yeah.
Like outlaw country.
I was gonna say, it's more like outlaw.
But outlaw bluegrass. Anyways.
Hell, I ain't even from here, but because of you, it's my home. And I'd do it all again, even if I knew what I now know. Any mention of your name's like a knife cutting clear to my soul. But if I never called it, I guess I'd never have known.
So when Chad was little, like 2 years old or something like that, I don't remember exactly. Like his hands like got burned in a fire, right? And so like his, he doesn't have all of his knuckles. You know, he's got like down to at least the first or knuckle or so, or a little bit past it. And so, you know, he was in the band when we were in school. He played trombone. You know, and he can draw really well. He was always a great artist. He's like, yeah, they think I'm handicapped, but look, so he can draw really. He can draw really well. And I remember as adults, I bumped into him at Guitar Center of all places, like in Dallas. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I play in a band. I'm like, I'm just looking at him like, he's like, I know what you're thinking. He's like, he plays slide guitar, open tuning, like the Rolling Stones or like the Black Crowes, right? So he plays slide guitar, tune it to an open tuning. And like, he plays guitar. And I'm like, bro, that's like the raddest thing I've ever even heard of or thought of. So I've got, all of my digits working perfectly. And I'm like, what's my excuse? I should practice more. Good God. And so Chad has a band and has written songs and like plays and does stuff. And I'm like, yeah, there's certain things like he'll probably not do on guitar, but that doesn't keep him from playing guitar, right? You work with what you got. So I would say if you are facing a physical challenge with your hands on guitar, doesn't mean it's the end of the guitar. You may just have to come up with a workaround. So, that's something that's always stuck with me. And, I think about that when I have students like, I can't get my hands to work. I'm like, you should meet my buddy Chad. He's friggin' playing guitar and gigs. They do gigs, write music and stuff. And I'm like, listen, where there's a will, there's a way. So, kind of, if you're dealing with that, first of all, do what your doctor says. Second of all, think about what can you do on the guitar. Experiment with tunings. You experiment with different ways of playing. So that's the best advice I have for carpal tunnel. And if you don't have it, I would suggest really getting into some hand exercises. We did a lot of stretches in the drum line, before we would go really intense playing stuff. There's some hand stretches you can do.
With
crochet.
With crochet, yeah. I have that issue with crochet. So.
Sorry, got a text message. So yeah, there you go. Thank you for the question, Dale. I hope that helps somebody out there. All right, next question. Just fun guitar. All the way from England. Hashtag Gen X. Hashtag Final Countdown. I love my tellies, but they are all Fenders. Currently I own 3. I had 5, but sold a couple. Let's talk about tellies because we had questions about tellies. New question. Do you have Carvery meals in your inns in the US? Or is that a UK thing? I went to one yesterday in Worcestershire with my bandmates, and it was superb.
Nice.
I do not know what that means. Carvery meals?
Yeah, I think it's.
Do you know what that is?
It's like whenever they bring the stuff to your table and they cut the meat at your table. Is that what that is?
Let me Google.
Don't forget it!
Yeah.
A carvery is a pub or a restaurant where text message where cooked meat is freshly sliced to order for customers, sometimes offering unlimited servings in a buffet style for a mixed price. The term is most commonly used in the United Kingdom, Ireland, Canada, and Australia.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, they...
That's like a barbecue joint.
Well, kind of, but for them it's more like...
They come to your table
home-cooked food.
and slice
so it's
it?
like potatoes roast, you know, and you ask them how much and they cut off some of that and then they put it on your plate. Like Golden Corral would be considered a carvery.
But they don't
place.
come to your table.
I know, but they offer it cut in front of you. Like they will have
Yeah.
a big piece of meat and cut it in front of you. But yes, barbecue is more predominant where they actually cut it.
Yeah, if you go to a
To
barbecue joint, like we had one was it last week? A week ago we went to Stanley's? Literally a week ago? All right, you go to a barbecue place. Yeah, I mean, you walk into the counter like, what do you want? Like, I want, you know, half a pound of sliced beef or sliced brisket, or I want half a pound of sliced sausage or a chopped beef. And they go, okay. And they cut it up right there for you.
Yeah.
They hand it to you and you take it to your table. What's that Brazilian place people are always talking about? Like they wheel a big rack of meat up to your table, like, here you go.
It's yeah,
You know what I'm
Brazil del Oro or Rio.
Rio del Oro de Brazil.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I think we have stuff that's probably kind of like that here, but it's not super
It's not prominent.
common.
Not at all. But it sounds great.
I like it when people bring me food,
Yeah.
especially meat.
We have a roast going at home right now.
Oh, I do. You think it'll be done when we get home?
Maybe.
I kind of want another steak, though.
Okay.
I'm hungry. All right. Thank you, Just Fun Guitar. Hey, you guys, let us know. Have y'all eaten at a Carvery? Tell us down below. Next question. Shane Walton, 8888. What guitar trend do you wish would end already? What hot new piece of gear you feel in the end will not catch on?
Ooh,
Oh.
good questions. Good questions.
Oh, wow. Great. What guitar trend do you wish would end already? What hot new piece of gear you feel won't catch on? That's a stumper right there. I'm trying to think of what the current guitar trends are right now.
Yeah. Like, is it stylistically?
Stylistically, or do you mean like gear? Like everybody's using, you know, string muters, or
Yeah.
you know, I don't know.
What would be something that you're just like, ugh, enough already?
Might be controversial, but maybe this is not necessarily how I feel, but you see a lot of like on the online guitar community right now. There's a lot of talk about Kirk Hammett and his guitar Greenie, which is this famous Les Paul that, you know, was Peter Green owned it, you know, and like Gary Moore, like these other like two legendary guitar players owned it. Yeah. And now he owns it. And like freaking like a old 50s like Les Paul, and he plays it on stage and it's like it's got the magic and it's all this money and like, but he's the current owner. So there's all this hype around it where it's like, oh, Greenie. And like now they're making Epiphone versions of it. They're making Gibson versions of it. And you know, that's kind of I guess a thing that I'm aware of because of Metallica. And like, I don't really have a problem with that, but I'll scroll on Facebook and it's like, oh great, another article about Kirk Hammett and Greenie. Fantastic. Could we... Texas Trucks. Could we have one more article? One more article and interview, please, with Greenie and Kirk Hammett. Right. I can see how that's kind of annoying other people, I think. I'm like,
haven't heard anything like that.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know anything about that. I think we need to talk more about James, is kind of how I feel.
So what hot new piece of gear you feel in the end will not catch on?
I don't really know. I mean, like, I'm not a crazy gearhead where I've got like 5,000 pedals and I've always jump on the new bandwagon of like, oh, everybody's using Axe Effects and Helix and digital stuff and modelers. I don't know. It's a good question. I think, I mean, that's the immediate thing I think of is like, what's happening with amplifiers right now? What's the new hot thing, or what's the new hip thing with guitar and manufacturing stuff? Well, that's a really good question. I don't know. I know for a hot minute, everybody was into the headless guitars, like Strandbergs, and like the, you know, they don't have the tuning pegs on the end, and that was the thing. Yeah. That was quite popular for a minute, and they're still popular. People play them, but it seems like that has kind of died down a little bit. Yeah. I never really was bothered one way or the other about it. There's the frets that are all like squiggly little lines. They're trying to fix the intonation of the guitar by having frets that are all like compensated frets for perfect tuning when you're playing the guitar. I don't think that's going to catch on. I don't really overthink that stuff, but I see guitars every now and then that have the crazy compensated wiggly frets. I'm like, I don't think that's going to be a big thing, but I don't know. That's a really good question.
Yeah.
That is a good question.
I would have no idea. Everything that I know about guitars that is in front of me has already caught on and has been caught on for a long time. So
yeah,
I wouldn't know anything outside the parameter of what I already
kind
use
of
and do.
on the edges of the hot new thing that just popped up.
Right. But yeah, that'd be interesting. I would like to see the comments and
yeah,
if there's a few people like, oh, I've heard of this, or this is exactly what I think it is.
This is a really good question for the community.
Yeah.
Shane. So thank you for that. So you guys and girls who are watching, please comment down below your answer to this. What hot new guitar trend you wish would stop? Sneezy time with Lala. What trend do you guys wish in the guitar world would just stop? And what new piece of gear do you think is not going to actually catch on?
Yeah.
So I think gear cycles. Like, I think gear comes out and like I think it dies pretty quick. If it's going to die, it dies pretty quick.
Sorry.
Are you allergic to me?
I don't know. There's something in here that went and burned my nose. It literally like
It's
all
Frank.
this is on fire.
It's me. I think gear cycle faster now than ever. Like something new comes out and it either catches on or it dies pretty quick. I think. I don't think there's much of a slow burn when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, but this is a really good question for you guys because I'm a little bit I zero in on what I like,
Right.
and I don't get overly consumed with the hot new thing.
Right.
Something like that. All right, now it's time for comment of the day.
Comment of the day.
Comment of the day. Comment of the day, yeah. You make the comment, we read the comment. Comment of the day.
Oh, quick answer. YouTube people starting their own guitar brands. That's a trend. Maybe not even YouTube people. It's like Zach Wild has
Right.
Wild Audio, and people leaving mega brands and starting their own thing.
Right.
Well, I don't wish that would end necessarily because I like Ola and Ola has solo guitars, but I think that's an interesting trend
Yeah.
where more and more artists, instead of becoming endorsees, are ending endorsements and starting their own branding,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll catch
on. It's the era of being an influencer and having your own market, your own website, your own people, your own social media,
Being
staff.
in control of it.
Yes, we're not having an outlet to some conglomerate doing it
Right.
for you.
Right now, whether that is sustainable or not, that's a good question. I don't wish that would go away. I don't really care. I'm not in love with Zach's guitars, Wild Audio. I love Zach, but I'm not like, there are times where I'm like, man, I wish she'd go back to Gibson. But I think a new trend I have noticed was people not being so exclusive with their endorsement deals. Like going back to Kirk Hammett. Kirk Hammett and James Hetfield both have been with ESP guitars for forever. But now Kirk is also doing stuff with Gibson. So he has some signature Gibsons and Epiphones coming out. But he's still with ESP. Oh, and the big new thing, the Slash from Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Slash Hudson just announced he's doing a signature amp with Magnatone amps. Who, Billy Gibbons, has a signature Magnatone. And so everybody's like, oh, Slash left Marshall to go to Magnatone. It's like, he didn't leave Marshall. He's actually still with Marshall.
Oh, well.
He's just also with Magnatone.
There you go.
So I think that's a new trend that is emerging right now, is artists not having exclusive endorsement deals. So like, yeah, I play ESP. I also play Fender.
Right.
And I have deals with both companies, or deals with multiple companies of the same thing.
That makes sense when you're that big.
Yeah, when you're freaking Metallica, you can do what you want. Like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I love you guys, but I'm going to play this other guitar band too. Okay, do what you want. Just keep playing our stuff too.
Yeah.
So I think that's the new thing. All right, comment of the day. This is where we write a song on the spot. And I write the music. Angela writes the vocal melody and the rhythms. You guys write the lyrics. I guess I'm playing a C.
I guess so.
I guess we're doing this in C. Is that fine? And we're gonna make it extra folky today.
Okay. Sinner's Dwarf 7138. I checked out of the world for a few tough months. I can't read. I'm gonna start that over. I can't read
Let me
that.
scooch the lyrics closer.
Thank you.
Where's my Kaiser capo?
And tilt it towards me. There you go.
It's in the shot. Oh well. Okay.
That's okay.
It's fine.
Sinner's Dwarf 7138. Yeah. I checked out of the world for a few tough months. But I've caught up on RNA Q&A. Hashtag Gen X. Hashtag final countdown.
Yay! Well, that was,
That'll do it.
that'll do. That'll work right there. Okay, Sinner's Dwarf 7138. I checked out of the world for a few tough months, but I finally caught up with my RNA Q&A. Hashtag Gen X. Hashtag final countdown. I've noticed that
Yeah.
because I'll go back and ba-ding, ba-ding, there'll be comments, and it's Sinner's Dwarf with all the secret hashtag of the days for like the last 7
Got
ASK
'em.
RNAs.
On it.
I can understand Sinner's Dwarf because we've kind of missed a couple of weeks of ASK RNAs.
Yeah. We've had a few tough things too going on in our lives.
We've had an eventful second half of 2023.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, this, for the first time in years, because we've been doing ASK RNA for years.
Right.
Now. I mean, obviously, episode 396.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And for the most part, it's been like every single week doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess for the last several months, it's been like every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
maybe every 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks, I think, since the last ASK RNA.
Yeah.
So, yeah, life is definitely happening.
Yes, it
So,
is.
Glad to see you back. Thank you so much.
We're good.
Oh,
by
yeah,
the
we're
way.
good.
Yeah. He and I are good. I always like to preface that because then people like to assume, and it's not this, and it's not our kids. It's always out there.
Peripheral. Periphery. It's on the periphery.
Yes.
I don't ever think that, I guess. I never assume people think it's like, I bet they're having marriage
People
problems.
always go to the negative because that's just the way the world is.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, no. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
So if they see me go, or, they were like, oh, did you see Angela in that last video? She was just like, not really. I told you something was going on. People are like that.
Yeah.
They like to read into things because, makes life exciting, I guess. But there's nothing.
Oh, right.
He's my best friend.
We've been taking care of a lot of family stuff, but not
Not
the
this
core
family.
unit of
Yeah.
Angela and
We
I.
strong.
Nicholas, Aiden.
Right, babe.
Right, yes, absolutely. Oh, okay. What was I saying? All right. Glad to see you back, Sinner's Dwarf, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for catching up.
Yes.
And getting those hashtags in there, man. You're a legend. I hope everything is going
Yes, we do.
better on the uphill. Hope everybody's 2024 is an improvement over their 2023 for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
It's going to wrap up great.
Yes. That was comment of the day song. All right. Next question. Steven Scharf, practice sampling out. I'm not sure what that means. It says, I'm looking for a 12-inch speaker, affordable, practicing. If you had any recommendations, please let me know. I'm a fan of Orange and Randall amplifiers.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some typos in there, or Steven, or I can't read today probably. I think his question is he's looking for a 12-inch speaker based, an amp with a 12-inch speaker, but essentially for practicing.
Right.
That's a good question. I mean, Orange is great. We are Orange dealers here. We do sell mostly the little crush amps like the CR12 and the CR20s and a couple of CR35s. CR35 might be your jam. They're pretty basic, no frills. There's no tons of built-in digital crapola,
Right.
that you get with the katanas and all the other stuff. The 12-inch speaker, I think, that's the kicker.
Right.
And it was, what do you mean by affordable? Because nothing seems affordable anymore. I think the guitar market is kind of settling down a little bit. I think demand has
kind of peaked out.
Demand has dwindled a little bit. We're probably to pre-pandemic demand levels, like sort of normal guitar demand levels and gear demand
That
levels
makes sense.
before the pandemic, where everybody went psycho and everybody wanted a guitar. I think we're back to that. It feels like a decline from where we were, but it was just like there was this artificial bubble of like everybody and their mom wanted a guitar.
Right.
For a hot
Nothing else to
second.
do.
Right. Yeah.
Let's start a hobby.
Let's do a new hobby while we're stuck inside.
Right.
I think we're back to that, but I think production finally caught up, and now there's like PRS is doing deals on guitars. Fender's been blowing stuff out, so I think the guitar market is kind of coming back to normal, and even like some pretty good deals now because it's like, hey, everybody's overstocked, and now they need to move some stuff. So with amps, it's that's a good question. I mean, our go-to, again, we sell Orange here because I think they make for like a little bit over $100, you get a decent little practice amp that's portable. It's not 12-inch speaker. So we've had a lot of good luck with the little Orange.
Right.
The Orange amps here, for beginners and stuff. Randall, I used to really like Randall, and I've got, well, actually, you probably can't see it. It's behind Angela. But I got a 2x12 Randall cab back there that used to be an amp. There it is.
This way.
That guy right there. That's actually a 2x12 cab.
I was getting further.
It was an RG100 stereo chorus. Oh, yeah. And the amp part of it died. And so I took the amp out and converted it just basically into a 3/4 open back cab. But I haven't seen anything from Randall in a long time. We were Randall dealers, but they just kind of, once US Music got bought out by another ownership, they kind of really, the new corporate owners really kind of they kind of gutted Washburn and Randall.
Right.
So there's not really much left there. So that's a really good question. Like, I'll tell you what I have for practice amps.
Okay.
At home, is I have a little Fender tube amp. It's the Super Champ XD, out of production. Been out of production for a long time. 10-inch speaker, which was sort of the weak link. But I also have a Katana, 50-watt Katana at home, and it's okay too. But I'm trying to think. I can't think of off the top of my head a practice amp with a 12-inch, single 12-inch speaker. Because most of the time I play out of really big half stacks. Yes, I mean, like 99% of my guitar playing is through 4x12 cabs. Right. Just because I'm here at the shop and this, I have the wall of cabs back here and I have them.
Yeah.
And that's just what I play through. I do like, I have realized though, I have had some 1x12 cabs here. Not really budget ones, but for a lot of the Devil Cat stuff I've had, 1x12 cabs and things. And I realized I definitely prefer a 2x12. Like if I'm gonna bother with the extended cab of some kind, I won't even mess with a 1x12. I'll just go ahead and get a 2x12.
Yeah.
And there are companies out there that make really affordable 2x12 cabs that you can get, and I would probably get a small wattage lunchbox style head and then a 2x12 cab. This is what I would do if it were up to me. Although, again, I have the Katana and I have this other little amp at the house, and honestly, they do fine for me if I'm just piddling around at the house. So, another good question for the community, guys. I'd have to go Google. I haven't looked at these questions since I typed them out, so I forgot that was a question. That's one I should have researched.
Yeah.
The CR35 from Orange, the Orange Crush 35. Well, we have sold several of those, and those are pretty solid amps. Not really bells and whistles, but they're solid. And the good thing with Orange is they rarely break. They rarely crap out. That's one of the big pluses for Orange. They almost never die on you. So they're extremely reliable. So maybe check into the Crush CR35. I think it has a 12-inch speaker, but it might be a 10. I don't remember. Thank you for the question, Steven. Talk amongst yourselves. Final question, Matt Haji. Hashtag Gen X, 2 weeks ago. So this was 2 weeks ago. What's the youngest age student you have taught to play an instrument? 3. Just kidding.
Yeah, no. I think 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Naomi.
Oh, really? She 4?
She was 4.
Holy smokes. And how long did she take lessons with you?
She just recently stopped taking lessons, and she will be 11 this December.
Nice.
Yeah. She took a break until the new year because she's in lots of
T-ball,
sports and stuff. Like, she does extracurricular stuff outside of school. So, yeah.
Wow.
She was 4, and then she turned 5 like a couple months later.
She was nearly 5 when she
was
started.
nearly 5.
Not a fresh 4.
She was still 4, and she was all 4.
Oh, man.
She was all 4.
Yeah.
She seemed like she stayed 4 for like 2 years.
She held on to that 4.
Ooh, yeah. She was.
Golly jeez. Her brother, her older brother was taking drum lessons from me. And so it was a brother and sister.
Yeah.
Mal was doing.
He was like in the 4th grade, I think.
Yeah, Mal was doing drums with me.
Yeah.
And Naomi was doing ukulele or piano?
Ukulele.
Okay.
Ukulele forever until she did guitar. But then she wants to come back and do voice, but she has to be in 6th grade for six, half the year.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
So
okay.
that's what she wants to do when she comes back in January, is come back as a voice
vocal
student.
lessons. Well, that would be good.
Yeah, I think she'll do great. She has a
Probably
good voice.
will. Well, good.
Yeah, she does. She has a really good voice.
Nice.
She has had one since she was little. Yeah. So 4. 4 is the youngest.
Yeah. In our lesson policies, because people call and ask us, and we actually preemptively have lesson limits. Like with us, it's 5. So I guess we made an exception for Naomi. Or this is before we put it on paper.
This is way before.
This is way back.
Yes.
We do like 5 is the youngest we will teach, and that's only piano and ukulele.
Yes.
Ukulele might be pushing it at 5. Generally, 5-year-olds can handle beginner piano, depending.
Fairly well.
Depending on the 5-year-old.
Yes.
Although I had one the other day that I taught, had a month of lessons, and at the end of them I was like, he's not ready. Some 5-year-olds are ready, some are not ready. It just depends. Guitar, is it 11?
Yeah, 11 years old, 6th grade, end of 5th grade, beginning of 6th grade. Yeah.
Yeah. We changed it. We used to do 10 was the youngest we would teach guitar, because I actually did have a couple of 10-year-olds.
Yes.
Young ladies.
You had a couple of 9-year-olds.
Did I?
Yeah, Aubrey was 9.
Was she 9?
She was 9.
Okay. Well, Aubrey was the one I was thinking of as a young lady. She just graduated high school. She's 18 now.
Yeah, she's
off to college.
Halfway through her freshman year at OSU.
So I thought she was 10. All right. Well, we kind of set it at 10, but now 10.
There were exceptions because some kids can just get it and they're willing to work.
Had a couple.
Don't.
Apparently, Aubrey was 9.
Yes.
But I always say I've had a couple of 10-year-olds, usually young ladies, and usually on electric guitar, who have stuck with it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I think electric guitar is a little bit easier on your fingers than acoustic guitar. Acoustic guitar is just brutal.
Yeah, she was with you for like almost 5 years.
Yeah. Younger than 10, I've worked at another place years ago teaching lessons, and they were like, just take anybody. So I had these 2 6-year-old twin boys taking guitar lessons, and it was like, no, they just could not do it. It's just, I've never had someone younger than 10 or apparently late 9 who started and who actually stuck to it on guitar. Yeah, because it's just the hurdles of you got to develop the calluses, and guitar is inherently way more frustrating in the beginning than piano is, and then ukulele. Like ukulele is way more immediate gratification than guitar. Yeah, and it's not that immediate.
No, not like piano.
Piano, like you can get right down to it. So, drums and guitars, 10-ish, 11. Vocals is 11. With some 6th grade.
Yes, with at least halfway through your 6th grade, especially if you're in choir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and bass is like the same, essentially. So, yeah, that's kind of the way we do it. And we turn people away all the time. Like, my 4-year-old wants to sing. Like, just let her sing.
Just let her sing around the house, sing in front of grandma, grandpa, sing at church, and roll her into other things. But vocal lessons, that's not for a little kid.
They're not ready for that.
No, 11 is a good age.
And again, guitar is like the younger the kiddo, the probability of them actually learning to play is extremely low.
Right. Especially nowadays, we've mentioned this before, where a lot of kids are involved in so many other things. Like
Right.
if guitar's their only thing, and they're just so passionate about about music, and they showed all those little things about
If
being
they're
passionate.
extremely driven.
And yes, and they have that focused mindset, and you know your kid if they're very focused. But if they're just like a flipperty gibbet, where they're wanting to touch everything, wanting to get into everything, and guitar is just one of those things, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
And there's always exceptions. People are like, well, I saw this kid. They're doing. I'm like, yeah, that's the kid.
Yeah.
Like, well, Michael Phelps won 17 gold medals. My son can win 17 gold medals.
Yeah.
He probably ain't.
Probably not.
I'm just
gonna
saying,
do
he's
it.
probably not. But
Yeah. My little girl did a cartwheel in the front yard. I think she's going to be an Olympian one day.
yeah.
No.
Did she did 15 backflips in the front yard? Maybe.
Maybe.
So yeah, we do because number one, we don't want our time wasted. Like, we don't want to waste our time with someone who's really not ready
Right.
to do what they need to do yet. And then,
Yeah.
of course, your parents are wasting money and stuff. But, like,
Yeah.
my time is more important,
Yeah.
for sure.
Because our time is our time. You can't get back time. You can't get back. Well, you can make more
cannot.
money.
Yes.
So, but our time
Your time
is
is your time. And, I'd rather work with and coach and teach a student who's just really like,
Yeah. Even if they just want to try it for a little while,
sure.
if they're, we understand that, but
Yes.
it makes it harder. And we don't ever like the idea, like I told a parent just the other day, it's like, I don't want this to be a bad taste in their mouth. I don't want them to go, oh, I hate music because it was this or that. So we try to make it as pleasant as possible, but we also set realistic expectations, and we expect them to have realistic expectations coming into the thing. That's why we have the age limits, because it helps the proper age acclimate at the proper level that they need to learn something at without frustration. So much
Right.
frustration.
Right, for sure. We want them to have the most opportunity for success,
Yes.
right? And sometimes it's just kind of knowing when is the right time to try and when is you're not ready.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's but yeah, apparently the youngest is 4. Amazing.
That we've ever had.
Back before we had standards.
So we raised the
So
standard.
you raise the standards.
Yes.
Well, and we've done this here at RNA Music for nearly 14 years.
Yeah.
And I've taught before that I was thinking that the other day. I was like, how long have I been teaching? No one's really ever asked me, like, how long have you taught? And I'm like, literally,
Kids ask me that all the time.
I've been teaching, technically, like, my first teaching music gig was when I was a freshman in college.
Yeah, way back.
Like, when I was in college, I was teaching high school drumline. So I was, they had this college guy, like, in charge of all these, 9, 10, 11, 12th graders. Like, so I've taught music since 94.
It's been 30 years.
Oh my God. So it's like, I've got 30 years of experience. Now, I haven't taught nonstop since 94,
Yeah.
but I taught a lot while I was in
But
college.
we've seen it all.
Yeah. So I have, and then like professionally as my sole job for,
Half that.
yeah, I guess, because I taught, when we lived in Tyler, that's what I did, is I taught lessons at other lesson
Yeah.
studios.
And you went over to
Oh yeah.
Horn
And I taught
in Mesquite.
I taught in Mesquite in Garland, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas. Excellent.
And you have private lessons in the house.
Yes.
Had
Okay.
drum
Yeah. So I've got
Yeah, at
A
least
lot.
20 years of
a
almost
lot
consistent.
of teaching. So it's like, you kind of figure some stuff out after a few decades of like, this is going to work. And I always get tickled where people who have never taught are like, well, this kid could, I would teach it like this. I'm like, you're not a teacher. I would like
Have
to
fun with that.
I would like to see you build a successful teaching business. Why don't you just go
Just
ahead?
Go ahead and try it.
Since you know so much, professional.
You can totally
teacher.
do it.
Anyways, it's all good. So, yeah, 4, Matt. Great question. Now she was.
There you go.
I don't know if Naomi's exceptional, but
She was an exception to the rule, smart as a whip,
Yeah.
and very dedicated. Like, she went home and
could
played
focus.
every single day, like all the time. That girl played her ukulele every day. Every day. And then she got older, and then she got involved in sports and stuff, and then it started, you know.
Once her attention got split between sports.
And it happens. It just happens. That's life.
Yeah. I always say my best student I've ever had. It's hard to say that, but not really. Is my student Brianna, who took drum lessons. She started taking, was she 10?
If you've been around, you know who
You know
Brianna,
her. Like, she
you know
plays
Brianna.
with us. If you watch the videos, the last couple of weeks, I put up videos of us playing little gigs in the Pocket Park. The young lady on drums is Brianna. She started taking it, she was 10. So taking,
before she turns 11.
Yeah, she was 10 and a half, I think, when she started drum lessons with me. And took drum lessons up until she was 18. Now that girl, that was her thing. She played drums. She didn't do Girl Scouts. She didn't do gymnastics. She didn't do softball. She didn't do cheerleading. She didn't do anything. She was fully 100% obsessed with drums. And so she would go home and practice her drums. A lot.
Yeah.
So she would come back next week. I'm like, oh, right, you did it. Cool. Let's go to the next thing. And so, I mean, I say she's my best, but it's because she practiced a lot.
Right.
And everything I gave her, she went home and just tore it up.
Devoured
And
it.
got into it. And
Yes.
and even more on top of what I was giving her, she was going and learning things.
Right. We've had lots of students.
You
over the
have
years
some
that are like that.
are super driven like that.
Right,
and
but they
obsessed.
just, you know, it's almost like a generation, like a school year. We would have like one. He'd have one, I'd have one. He'd have one, I'd have one. Where we'd have kids. Like you
Yeah.
had a couple of guitar players, the boys, the Masons. You know, the couple of them that were just like, I want all of this. You know, I want
Yeah.
to learn more and show up prepared. So it's pretty awesome. But
Yeah. It's always fun when you have a student like that who's like, this is their universe, is music. And that's not every student, and that is okay. It's fine that for some people, music is just a part of what they do. It's
Right.
one of the things that they do in their life, and that's fine because you become, you know, a good, well-rounded person,
exactly.
you know.
It's
and
always good to learn some kind of
Yeah.
craft, tool, trade.
And you don't have to be obsessed with it. Like some dudes play golf just casually for fun, and some people are obsessed.
Same thing with basketball. Same thing with anything.
So it's like, that's fine.
Comic books.
But every now and then you get a few who are like, this is their thing.
This is my identity.
And those students are always really fun to teach usually because they're just so consumed with it.
Yeah.
You know. And that's fun. I get a lot of satisfaction out of teaching those students who are just
Yes.
as obsessed, maybe more obsessed probably than I was at that age. I was a late bloomer to my obsession,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, there you go. Thank you for the question, Matt. That was really good. We chased all kinds of rabbit trails.
We sure did. We were like, what?
And that was the episode. We missed you guys. That's why we're talking. Episode 396. All right.
Yes.
If you have a question for next week, episode
Or
397.
whenever we do this again.
Or, well, I say next week. If you have a question for next episode 397 of Ask RNA, please leave it in the comment section down below of this video, episode 396. And when we shoot the next episode, we'll try to answer your question. All right? Yeah, there we go. Whenever that happens to be in the future from now. All right. And if you made it through this entire video, welcome back. And it's time for secret hashtag of the day. This is a little game we like to play. So if you watch this whole video, all 47,000 minutes of it, let the runtime go. Secret hashtag, type this with your comment down below or your question. And we'll know that you're part of the elite, legendary crew of RNA viewers who are extra special. And secret hashtag of the day is hashtag
I don't know. I have nothing.
hashtag I have nothing.
I have nothing.
I didn't either. I was like, surely it'll just appear to me, but it didn't. Hashtag I have nothing. And we'll know that you watched the whole stinking video. So thank you guys so much. Again, if you want some hoodies, link down in the description. I always forget to promote that stuff, but it is kind of hoodie weather now in most places, except for
Hoodie
Australia.
weather.
Sweater weather. Sweater weather. Get you an RNA hoodie if you like, and yeah, get you whatever you want. Swaggity swag. something. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, keep the music alive.
Don't forget it.
Music needs you.
And you need the music.
And we need to keep it alive for the next generation.
That's right.
So they'll become obsessed one day.
One day.
And become the next, you know, most amazing whoever of music.
Yeah.
Things. Stuff.
Those things.
Stuff and things.
Awesome.
Yay. Bye, guys.
Bye. I have nothing.
Oh, yeah, that's a song.
Yep. Nothing.
So excited.
Yes.